and welcome to the first episode of the Spring 2019 semester of Daybreak. I'm your host, Taylor Spirito.
And I'm your host, Nick Tomarello.
We have a lot of things in store for you this episode, including the introduction of our new segment, Breaking It Down with Bree.
But first, this morning's top stories start with the recent march that went through our campus.
And we have all you need to know in sports, tech, and entertainment.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh, because Daybreak is back.
Start your mornings with us, only on Daybreak.
So Nick, spring semester means not the best of weather if you're like me and like the hot weather. I mean, it's been rainy, it's been snowy, it's been kind of everything in between, you know?
Yes, definitely, and we have the weather over with Haley Keys. Haley, tell us what's coming up for the next couple days.
Thanks, guys. So it's definitely going to be a snowy weekend here in Pittsburgh, and we're going to start off with Saturday. We're going to have those flurries. It's going to be a high of 28 and a low of 25, and they're going to continue into Sunday, where we're going to have a low of 11. So if you haven't brought out your winter jackets by now, I would definitely do it on Sunday. And then, of course, as we move into Monday, it's going to be partly cloudy, but the temperatures are going to stay pretty low with a high of 30 and a low of 26. As I said before, it's going to be a snowy weekend, so bring out those jackets. That's all I have for weather. Let's send it back over to the couch with Nick and Taylor.
So I don't know about you, but this is where I'm very grateful that our campus is packed within a tight little space because we don't have to walk that far to get to classes, you know?
No, it's great. Living in Conestoga Hall and just walking straight over to West Penn for a majority of my classes is the best.
It's absolutely wonderful. But here's your city and campus news. The women came marching in as dozens of cities around the United States participated in the third annual Women's March on Washington on Saturday, and Pittsburgh was no exception. Several hundred gathered at the City-County building on Grant Street and walked to Market Square with signs of protest and chants that echoed through downtown. Like years past, this year's march carried a theme, targeting American politics and calling for an end to women and minorities being treated unfairly. The march in Pittsburgh donned the slogan, "Building Bridges Stronger Than Hate," an ode to the city's collection of bridges and the popular Stronger Than Hate hashtag that came in the aftermath of the Tree of Life synagogue shooting in October. According to the march's Facebook page, quote, "We stand to say that much has been done, but there's still work to do," end quote. Topics the march addressed besides women and minority rights included healthcare, gun control, and the government shutdown.
Point Blank Comedy has announced 3 upcoming events for the semester, including the highly anticipated return of Point Blank Live. This year's installment focuses around an evil comedy group set to take over the comedy scene at Point Park and Point Blank's efforts to out-funny them. In addition to the live sketch show, the club is also putting on a show called Steel City Improv Cage Match. The Battle of Humor takes comedy troupes from Point Park, Pitt, and Carnegie Mellon to see who has the funniest students in Pittsburgh. The third event isn't a live show, but rather a staff versus student basketball game titled Point Park Hoopla. The game features music, halftime contests with cash prizes, and of course, in-character announcers. The game and the sequel to Point Blank Live are free to the public, while the improv battle is $3, $1 each participating comedy club. The basketball game is scheduled for February 19th, and the live show on March 31st, and the improv show on April 7th. For more information on any of these events, be sure to check out pointblankcomedy.com or Point Blank Comedy on Facebook.
The Pittsburgh Cultural Trust hosted its first gallery crawl of the year on Friday. The event, entering its 15th anniversary, is held quarterly throughout the year and features multiple art galleries from photographs to paintings to live displays. It stretches 14 blocks through downtown Pittsburgh, and according to the event's Facebook page, it featured United States premieres of international artists, film screenings, theater and dance performers, and much more. According to the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust website, Gallery Crawl is, quote, what it looks, feels, tastes, and sounds like to experience a true cultural district, end quote. Some of the main events throughout the crawl included Turkish artist Refik Anadol at the Wood Street Galleries, 10 futures featuring 10 different artists at 937 Liberty, and Dance Film, an exploration, a survey of contemporary dance at Space Gallery. The gallery crawl started at 5:30 and went until 10, with some events slated for afterwards in Gallery Crawl After Dark.
Our first week back on campus was also the week that the city of Pittsburgh held an open carry rally. I was able to go to the counter protest and see what people had to say. Hundreds of people gathered downtown at the city-county building on January 7th to protest introduced gun legislation for the city of Pittsburgh. According to a Facebook event created by rally organizers, around 600 protesters attended the rally and were encouraged to open carry their legal firearms in a safe and responsible manner.
It's my right to bear arms, to protect myself and my loved ones, you know? It's our God-given right.
Point Park sophomore Jade Steele grew up around a family of gun owners and even purchased her first firearm when she turned 18.
I have no problem going through an extra background check or waiting 2 weeks to get a gun that I purchased. I feel more comfortable doing that than knowing that somebody else can get a gun and can do major damage.
According to the proposed laws, the public will not be allowed to, quote, manufacture, sell, purchase, transport, carry, store, or otherwise have a semi-automatic rifle in one's possession within city limits. It would also ban bump stocks, armor-penetrating bullets, sawed-off rifles, and large-capacity magazines. And it would also give permission to the courts to confiscate firearms from a person who may be suicidal or wanting to cause extreme bodily injury to others.
They let this stuff go on. This shouldn't come to this point. The DA should have been down there and told the mayor, you're breaking the law, you gotta stop. But no, so we have to resort to this here.
The City Council scheduled a public hearing on the proposed bills on Thursday, and Mayor Bill Peduto will travel to Washington, D.C. on Friday to attend the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Once there, he will meet with the mayors of Las Vegas, Parkland, and Orlando. Now, Taylor, you and I both went to this event,
Right.
And as I said in the news package, there were about 600 people there that were counter-protesting against this new proposed gun legislation. Now, we did see a couple counter-protesters that were trying to support this gun legislation, but there actually surprisingly wasn't a lot.
Yeah, and I know that we sought out some to, get the other side of the story in that package, and we didn't find a lot. I know that there was one woman who was walking around in the very beginning, and she had a sign up that was talking about gun control when it came to schools and, events like Parkland and Sandy Hook and all that. And I know that she had a sign that was protesting guns being in schools.
Yeah, and I know that the district attorney of Allegheny County, he actually wrote a letter to one of the city council people and said that basically that if they try to go forward with this gun legislation, that it could be deemed unconstitutional.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely a sight to see. And I know that, if you're caught up on social media, if you've ever heard of Caitlin Bennett, she went viral sometime last year because she graduated from Kent State, and her graduation photos featured her walking around campus with an assault rifle. I know that we got to see her speak. A few people that we know got to meet her and said that she was actually very respectful, which is not the type of personality that she puts on social media.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Well, stay tuned because after the break, find out who will make an appearance in NHL All-Star Weekend.
And we see which celebrities are caught up in the latest drama.
So go get another cup of coffee because we have all that and more coming up on Daybreak.
All right, we're ready.
Oh, no. You are right here.
Is the wind really necessary, guys? We need the wind. Okay.
You go take awful. You. That's awful.
Okay, I need someone to make me laugh.
Where's Wyatt? Wyatt's always late, duh.
I'm here. Jealous?
Get out of my way. Stop.
Cool. Okay. And now, we're smiling. There's a lot of noise going on. A lot of noise.
3, 2, 1.
Here at the Pioneer sideline,
we cover the real sports.
On another season, the Penguins are just getting started with the regular season this week.
Pioneer sideline.
The show that starts your Friday mornings has returned, with both familiar and new faces. Daybreak host Taylor Fife and Delaney Bomas are bringing you the latest updates in Pittsburgh and Point Park news. We also have a variety of talent on our free segments. Whether it be singing, dancing, or indeed egg smashing. Start your mornings with us at Daybreak on UView at UView Television.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Lindsay Carson with your latest in Pittsburgh sports news. The Pittsburgh Penguins are currently on their bye week. The last game they played was Saturday, January 19th against the Vegas Golden Knights. That night was not golden for the Penguins because they lost the game 3-7. That made their record going into the bye week 47-29-6. Right now they are second in the Metropolitan Division, which means they are currently in a wild card spot for the playoffs. Before the break, general manager Jim Rutherford made a trade with the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks received centerman Derek Grant, while the Penguins received centerman Joseph Blandisi. Blandisi played with the Penguins against the Arizona Coyotes and the Vegas Golden Knights. Then, on January 20th, it was announced that he was reassigned to the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Fans are speculating about whether or not Rutherford will make another trade before the deadline on February 25th. But if you're tired of talking about potential trades during the Penguins break, you can tune in on Saturday, January 25th to see the Penguins captain Sidney Crosby and alternate captain Chris Letang participate in this year's NHL All-Star Weekend in San Jose, California. Then the whole team will be back on Monday, January 28th as they take on the New Jersey Devils at 7 p.m. at PPG Paints Arena. That's all I have for your Pittsburgh sports news. Let's send it over to Andrew Brinker for the latest in tech.
Thanks, Lindsay. I'm Andrew Brinker with your timely tech news. A new first-of-its-kind double-folding smartphone has been unveiled by the Chinese tech company Xiaomi. According to the BBC, the Beijing-based company revealed its latest design in a post to the social media site Weibo on Wednesday. This new device comes on the heels of the release of other folding devices from companies like Samsung. So what makes this phone different? The number of folds. Each of the previously released folding smartphone models from other companies have only featured one fold. This new device features two. And in this case, Xiaomi claims that two is better than one. The two folds allow the device to function as both a tablet and a smartphone. Unfolded, the device is a reasonably sized tablet, but if the two sides are folded back, it becomes a phone that fits easily in the user's hand. However, the BBC noted that the folds in these new types of devices has been the area that has been known to malfunction, so adding another fold, might be adding more room for error. Either way, the new phone already appears to be a massive hit, as the unveiling video had garnered more than 3.5 million views by the end of the day on Wednesday. Xiaomi didn't release any details on the new device, and perhaps the most important missing detail, the price. The double folding phone is currently expected to go at a pretty steep cost, and another important missing detail, the company has yet to set a release date. That's all I have for this week. Let's send it over to Sarah Ray Wisniewski with entertainment. Sarah Ray.
This week, Justin Bieber received one final jab to hopefully end the most unexpected feud of the year. If you're out of the loop, this fight was between heartthrob Justin Bieber and YouTuber JoJo Siwa. To catch you up to speed, JoJo was gifted an insane-looking convertible BMW for Christmas. This car is covered in rainbows, hair bows, and of course a giant photo of herself on the hood. Out of nowhere, Bieber commented the words "burn it" 3 times under JoJo's Insta photo of the car. JoJo lightheartedly reacted by making small jabs to the Biebs and his comments. Just when we thought it was over, JoJo brought up the situation once more on this week's episode of The Tonight Show. She burned Bieber, but in the best way possible. She discussed the amount of unnecessary hate in the world, saying, quote, "Don't focus on that one person who's being mean to you. Focus on the 10 other nice people who are loving you and supporting you," end quote. She added that she is over the drama and hopes Bieber will perform at her 16th birthday party. From one drama to another, reality star Kendall Jenner has gotten major backlash from her collaboration with Proactive. The skincare company and momager Kris Jenner announced that Kendall will be Proactive's new spokesperson and will share her raw battle with acne. According to Nation magazine, this instantly had fans angered considering all of the recent photos of the superstar's perfect skin. Twitter users were fast to make fun of Kendall for being seemingly overdramatic. Proactive has since made claims that they are standing behind the star. What do you guys think? Was Kendall the right choice for leading this ad campaign? That's all I have for entertainment. Let's send it back over to the couch with our lovely hosts, Nick and Taylor.
Thanks, Sarah Ray.
All right, I want to backtrack a little to sports because there's been some updates with this whole NHL All-Star weekend. So Alexander Ovechkin is the captain of the Washington Capitals, the defending Stanley Cup champions, and he was voted as captain for the All-Star weekend for the Metro Division. He opted to not participate in the All-Star weekend because he wanted to take a break and recuperate before the second half of the season. Now, this garners a one-game penalty going into the rest of the season. And he has the choice to either take that penalty against last night's game against the Toronto Maple Leafs or the game after the break against the Calgary Flames. He played last night against the Leafs, but he did go through concussion protocol. So there's this whole thing where if he got injured in that game, he doesn't have to go through that one-game suspension because he would technically be injured and wouldn't be able to participate in the All-Star weekend anyway. It's this whole big thing, and I know a lot of people were really upset that Alex Ovechkin opted to not participate in the weekend, but for someone who's coming off of a really big season, he just tied the record for most points in the NHL by a Russian-born player. You know, obviously he's going to want to rest up just a little bit, but you know, that'd be kind of a lucky break. You know, injuries aren't fun, but to not have to deal that one-game suspension, that'd be kind of lucky for him, even if he did have a little bit of an injury in there.
Yes, and before we go to break, I want to talk about that foldable phone. Now, it has 2 folds in it, and, you know, there's this whole thing where people want to have a tablet and a phone in one.
Right.
But honestly, I've been talking to a lot of my friends, and I don't know if there's really going to be a market for that or an audience that really wants that foldable phone. And wouldn't you worry about it breaking?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, my phone's right here. You can see how busted up it is. I mean, I definitely wouldn't trust myself with having 2 folds in a phone. I can barely even keep track of a phone that has no folds, you know? All right, well, coming up, find out which Point Park student has become a statewide celebrity.
I know just the trick. Bippity, boppity, boop! Much better. Guys, Samir Nefsky, and I'm outside of the Benedum Center right now. So in just a few moments, we're gonna go inside the Benedum Center to talk to Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays the genie in Disney's Aladdin. I'm Samir Nefsky giving you the theatrical scoop for the Berg. Hey guys, so I'm now inside the Benedum Center with Trevor Dion Nicholas, who plays the genie in Disney's Aladdin.
Welcome back to Daybreak and welcome to my new segment called Breaking It Down with Bree. I will feature trending entertainment news and have some exciting guests on the show that are shining stars making an impact in their communities. And today I have Miss Monet Finley, aka Miss Black Pennsylvania of 2019. So that's a big title. How did you learn about Miss Black USA?
So what really happened, I was just scrolling through my Instagram feed and I saw a woman like me being crowned, and that sparked something in me because I've never seen so many black women who are wearing crowns, who looked so beautiful. So I was like, I want to be a part of that. And that's when I started doing my research about Miss Black USA, and I was like, this is really good. This is something beautiful because it's a platform through which women like me can express themselves, who can voice their opinions, and who can just share their talents. So it was something that I really wanted to be a part of.
And what was that process like for you? Like, how long did it take, and when did you find out that you earned this huge title?
So what really happened, I sent in my application form, and I was like, all right, I'm not sure, but I was just really pumped about it. And then I think a week to 2 weeks after, I got an email saying, you know, I am a Miss Black Pennsylvania, because what they did, they read my resume, they researched me, and then I had a phone interview, and that's when they were like, you know what, you got the title. You are Miss Black Pennsylvania, and to this day it's one of the most beautiful moments in my life.
That's amazing. So now this is a really big thing. Would you say that earning this title, has it shaped you in a way? Like, do you feel like you're a different person than who you were before you got this name?
I would say it hasn't changed me, but it has impacted my life in a very big way. Because for someone like me who is just coming from Jamaica, who really didn't know what I was going to be doing, for someone like me to have such a title, it's showing me that there's so much that I can do. There is so many ways that I can impact other young girls like myself. And so this is a platform that I'm just ready to start. I'm just excited about the journey. I'm just ready to take it on.
That's great. That's really exciting. So now I know the pageant is coming up. Can you tell us about that, and also what more can we expect from you in 2019?
Yeah, definitely. So the national pageant is going to be held in August, and right now I'm just focusing on building my platform, which is called I Am Enough. And it's for young girls and even young boys who are just feeling as if they have a low self-esteem, as if no one cares for them, who just don't feel loved. And this is my platform. I just want to show them that, hey, there's so much that you can do. You are beautiful, and the world has its arm open to just love you, to just give you all the resources that you have. So this is just something that I'm really pumped about. I'm just looking forward to this.
Now, what would you say to someone who might not have the confidence to join Miss Black USA?
Do it. I would definitely say do it, because at first I was really doubting myself, but then I was looking at it, I was just like saying, what exactly do I have to lose? And just looking inside yourself, you realize that, you're beautiful and you have all the capacity to do something exactly like this.
And that goes for anything in life. Like, we should all take risks, not be afraid of anything. Now, I know you're also the founder and president of the Point Closet, which is here on Point Park's campus. Can you give us some information about that?
Definitely. So the Point Closet, it's a free thrift store here at Point Park, and we just actually opened on Wednesday. And what we do is we collect clothing from students and staff, and then we give it back for free. And right now, my team, the Point Closet team, we have just been helping to just help students, offset some of the financial issues that they might have sometimes. And honestly, I just wanted to give it, something new, something modern. So we have students already coming in, collecting like bags of clothes. And what we do is once per month, we have a pop-up shop. And what we do is we just tell students to just come. We have it in the Lawrence Hall lobby. And actually next week, Wednesday, we'll be having a pop-up shop. So that's something definitely to look forward to.
Wow, that's great. 2019 is definitely your year. I'm excited for you, and I'm glad that you worked this hard, because it's definitely paying off for you. Thank you for coming on to our show. That's all we have for today. Stay with us after the break. Daybreak will be back after the break with another new segment that is sure to make your morning a little brighter.
The United Student Government at Point Park University, working since the 1970s to solve the issues that matter to you. What concerns do you have about the university? Student life, safety, food service? Send us an email to studentconcerns@pointpark.edu or stop by our office on the 7th floor of the Student Center. You can also attend our weekly open meetings on Mondays at 3:15. Follow us on social media at USG_PPU for more. The United Student Government. By the students. For the students.
The Point Park Sports Network, bringing you live coverage of Pioneer Athletics on Stretch Internet, the home of the River States Conference and the NAIA. Subscribe today for complete access to the Point Park volleyball, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams. Watch live and on-demand broadcasts and don't miss a minute of Point Park Athletics. Head to pointparksports.com/live for broadcast listings. The Point Park Sports Network, your streaming home for Point Park Athletics.
3, 2, 1.
Please visit our website. Please, it's a nice website. Please visit our website. Please.
If you have ever watched television, whether accidentally or on purpose, YouView is for you.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Before we say goodbye, we would like to introduce another new segment called Ray of Sunshine.
That's right. Here at Daybreak, we always make sure you're getting the news you need to start your day. But we also want to make sure you're starting your day with a smile.
Ray of Sunshine will feature an inspirational quote to give your morning a boost. Today, I've chosen today's quote. It's by Nelson Mandela, and it states, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I don't know about you guys, but I love that quote. I'm not gonna lie, I made it my Instagram bio after I read it. I just think it's really inspiring. I love that quote.
No, I definitely agree. Even Monet, when she was here speaking about Miss Black Pennsylvania, she said that, you know, she was afraid, but when she did it, it happened, and then she earned that title. So she's proven to us all that even if it seems impossible, you can do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. We go through the times of, you know, struggling, whether we're working on an assignment at school or a major life event. And sometimes we pull ourselves back, but no, we really need to have the inspiration and try to push forward and know that as long as we work hard, we can get everything that we want done.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's it for Daybreak this week. I'm your host, Nick Tomarello.
I'm your host, Taylor Spirito.
And I'm your host, Brianna McCall.
Tune in next week for the news you need, and don't forget to like and follow Daybreak on Facebook at Daybreak on UView.
And be sure to check out the full episode and all of our shows from UView at uview.pointpark.edu. Have a great week, everyone.
That was a great show. I think it was pretty good.